Hello.
There we go.
Hi.
Hello, Judith.
Hi. Oh, Laura's here.
Hello, Laura.
Good morning, Judith. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, I'm great. Great. You have a wonderful visit with your family.
Yeah.
You know, that probably seems like a dream now as time goes, but that's
No,
good.
it really was wonderful.
Yeah,
We got to be
yeah, good.
real grandparents who were actually taking care of them. So that was wonderful.
Oh, yeah, it's hard when they're so far away. 3,000 miles is a long way. Kind of.
It is.
I'm in LA, 2 new grandkids, but a son, and I miss him a lot. And it's a long way to, visits are too far between.
Yes, it's true. Hi, Dana.
It shows Lily and it's me though, because I'm on her computer.
Okay, well, no, it's you.
Hello, Steve.
Hi.
Does Rebecca forget about us? Well,
There was a death in the family and it got all messed up, but we're set to go now. So,
yeah, great. That's good.
set to go now. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Steve, is your camera not
My
working?
camera, I don't know, is the camera not, let's see.
Well, we don't get to see your face.
Yeah, Lil, what's
No.
wrong with the camera here? Okay, yeah, I'm on Lillian's computer and maybe the camera isn't working.
That's all right. We can hear you.
Yeah, you don't have to see my
Oh.
ugly face. Yeah.
We can hear you. Okay, well, we have a quorum, so I will call the meeting to order. And I'd like to welcome Judith, because I understand she's all sworn in and a full member of the board. So thank you for joining us.
What's happening?
Suzanne, are you with us?
Yeah, in spirit, yes.
In spirit, okay. So the first item on the agenda is approval of the minutes. I've read them and they seem fine to me. So if everyone agrees, can I see a motion to approve?
I just have one thing, and I reread them today, Steve, and it's nothing that, I mean, it documents not Lillian's, but Evelyn's time on this board. It says that she had 3 years, and it was that she had 3 appointments, so that would be 9 years rather than the 3. So I don't know if that's.
Oh, no,
Well, that's what she said. I mean, the minutes reflect what's actually said in the meeting, so.
It's just
What are you referring to?
Evelyn, when she announced that she was resigning from the board, and it said that she had said she'd been on the board for 3 years, and it's for 3.
So she had been on the board 3
Yes,
terms. I'll change that to 3 terms.
I'm sorry, that's the correct.
Okay, all right. I'll make that correction.
All right, gosh, I'm getting funny things on my Zoom here.
Is someone else monkeying with the page?
Yeah, I don't know, because you're seeing something, it's like a Zoom page on top of mine.
Yeah. I don't know what
Well,
that's
you gotta
about.
come here. Something just happened.
Sure.
It's something that somebody is touching.
That's what I thought.
Oh, it's
So
Sarah.
if you're trying to like fix your screen in any way,
Okay,
that can happen.
You
Good,
can't put the
thank you.
camera on?
Mhm.
Okay, we're fine now.
Okay, good.
So with that change, do I hear a motion to approve the minutes?
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
And do I hear a second? All right, then your seconds, all in favor?
Hi.
Aye. Steve, okay, that's a unanimous approval. All right, Suzanne, your report, if you would.
Okay. Oh, absolutely. I, we are moving along. Our exercise classes are still slowly gaining a few more participants, with the exception of Tai Chi, which is wildly popular. We have, actually this morning, the Shine people are here seeing about people's insurances. We have the AARP tax people in here this morning. And starting the first Thursday in April, we will be changing from grab and go Thursday lunches to in-house dining. So I would encourage all of you to check the website, see if you can find a Thursday that you like the menu, and sign up and come to lunch, because we really want to encourage people to be together in the big room, and they can do that safely now. So we're feeling very hopeful.
Suzanne, when will that begin?
First Thursday in April,
Okay,
which
thank
is
you.
April 7th.
That's good news.
Yes, it is. And we're hoping it works. The last time we tried it, nobody came. So we're hoping 3 months out from that, it'll be more successful. People will feel more comfortable.
Good, okay.
I went before the select board last night to present my budgets, and they approved the Council on Aging budget. I did withdraw the article for a feasibility study at the town administrator's recommendation because of the amount of override that's needed this year. That's something that could be put off till next year. So that is the budget story. And I'm just looking forward to better weather, people in better spirits, able to move around more, no snow, no ice, no, impediments to being outdoors, which is healthier and better for everybody. And that's about it. Any questions about what's going on?
Not I.
I have a
Laura?
Yeah, I have a quick question as to where we are with signs for the other locations, the ones that, as opposed to the big one, which I know where we're at, but the ones that are on the corner of Old County Road and Route 6 and Cahoon Hollow Road and Route 6, and then the one that's on, I still call that Old County Road, but I guess it's labeled as the.
It changes to Old Kings by magic in the middle of the road. Yeah.
Those signs.
Those signs, I waited until, as I said last time, until Lillian okayed the proof for the big sign, and those signs will be coordinated with that. So I ordered all of them yesterday. The big sign that Lillian designed and the slightly larger sign that will replace the ugly one on the tree at the corner of Cahoon's and Old Kings, and then the two at Route 6 and Cahoon and of Old County.
Right,
So,
is there like an ETA as to when those might be in
no,
place?
I haven't talked to the guy. Just sent him the written order and language yesterday, and he'll get back to me. They're pretty quick. I don't know about the big sign. The small signs shouldn't be a big deal because they're less involved.
Great.
So
Oh, that's happy news. I have just one other question, and that's with attendance for the exercise programs. I know, actually I have two questions. We had talked about borrowing a sign. Able to purchase.
I ordered one of those, so we'll have our own.
Okay, that's even better. All right.
That was we need them. We can always use it because the inserts are interchangeable. So there's no problem with, and actually the church is using both their signs because they have the ding, 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 ding. Community acupuncture on one, and then I can't remember, but they have theirs permanently.
Sorry, but I'm.
All right, I have one more question, and that's just about with the attendance with the exercise classes. I was wondering if there might be a possibility that we could offer a free week of exercise classes for people. They would have to register before, and the numbers would be limited, but it might it might open the door to new people coming into the building. That was one.
Why?
The second thought was, I looked at the,
Okay, all right.
Wait,
Sarah needs to be muted.
Sarah, could you mute your speaker, please?
What?
Could you mute? You're having extraneous conversations that are coming through our meeting.
Well, I'm sorry, but I just, cannot, I don't know what to do.
Okay,
Tell me what to do. I mean, I want to
Rebecca
participate
can
in this
mute you.
meeting.
Can you
but
mute her?
I'm sorry, but I
Okay.
can't do anything and I don't know what to do.
Sarah, if you
okay.
look at the bottom of your screen. Are you on a computer or an iPad?
I'm on the computer, yes.
Look at the bottom of your screen, and usually down at the bottom, you see all our faces. Do you see our faces first of all?
Well, it says share screen.
No, don't share the screen, but go over to the left. And there's a place that says there's an icon for a microphone and it says mute.
Start video.
And start your video first. so we can
Okay.
see you. And then,
All right.
There you go.
There I am. I mean, I've got.
And right to the left of where you started your video, Sarah, there's a little microphone. Hit that, because that'll hit mute.
you see that?
Should be the bottom left
Mute.
corner.
Mute, but it says mute audio.
Yeah, that's okay. That's what you want. The audio is your voice. So mute, and then when you're ready to speak, you click it again so that we can hear you. But I think you were on the phone, and so we could hear your phone call.
There you go. Perfect.
Hey, good job. Good job. So I guess I
Back to the, before I forget the first question, Laura, I apologize. That's how my
okay, me
mind
too.
works.
Me too. The first-
Traditionally, we offer up to 2 free classes per person. We have cards at the front desk so that anybody who comes in can get up to 2 free. If they come in and ask about exercise, we give them the card and say, come for a free class. And after 2 classes, they have to either commit or decide they're not interested. And at that point, we get the medical sign off from them.
I don't think anybody knows that because people have just been coming in. I think if we could advertise that that people could try it twice, try 2 classes twice, and they actually knew that, then I would have utilized that myself coming in for exercise. I think that might draw people in. The other thing is, I know I went to the COA in Eastham and picked up one of their newsletters, and they're actually offering, and I'm not suggesting that we do this, but they're offering 2 months of free exercise classes to get people back into, and they're specific classes. They're not all of them, but they're choosing from core stretch, high impact interval training, sit and be fit, light and fit, or yoga. And she said you can donate, but if you'd like to try it, and they were going to do those for the month of March and April. And they have one other, the Tai Chi, which must be their Tai Chi is not included in that, but their Tai Chi, they have sessions similar to maybe what's been done at the Council on Aging before, where they have the woman that does Tai Chi. She has a session from April 11th to June 13th. And if you're an Eastham resident, it's $35 for each of those. It's an 8-week class. And if you're a non-resident, it's $55. So I think that some of it might be now, especially because the people can come in without masks, and there's people are feeling a lot more relaxed about entering inside spaces, that maybe with some of these encouragements, we would hook people and that they would love those instructors, and then they would be then maybe willing to go back and pay $10 per class. Or maybe that we could set up something that it would be in because it's not, the message isn't really, the center isn't to be a money-making organization.
No, it's not.
But they have a support. And I think the $10 is, I think that's a limiting factor, not for everybody, but you want to reach everybody. And there's a lot of somebodies who $10, if you want to come to 2 classes a week, or maybe 3 would be more beneficial to you. your budget doesn't, or your social security or whatever doesn't make that. And I think that's what we want to be, is a place that everybody, it's an equal playing field.
Terry and I were just having this discussion Monday of this week about reinstituting the mix and match. You pay for,
Yeah.
you can select from any of the exercise class, the way it always worked, and it worked quite well. Any of the exercise classes for once a week, twice a week, 3 times, or 4 times a week for 10-week session. So then you pay ahead for the 10 weeks, which means if you, and I don't remember the price points, but it was very, very reasonable. And we could reinstitute that and then still have drop-in for $10.
I
But we
think,
have to start it at the beginning of a newsletter.
Yep.
So that people get the newsletter and see to sign up for the session, and that gives everybody the chance to get the bargain price as opposed to figuring it out in the middle of a session and then having to pay $10. So I think that is definitely, but we're now in the March, April newsletter, so it would probably start in May would be the most convenient time to do it.
okay, so can that, yeah.
Oh,
okay.
it's on the front burner to figure that out.
Okay, Terry couldn't send out like an email blast to start it like in April to get a jump start, because that's really what you want, is you want to get people in the building. And I think, I'm just going to say this, I think about a couple classes that they would be better attended, and even there might be a need for a second session of yoga if in fact, people could afford to come. So I don't know if that's a possibility to do it in an email blast and have the email blast say that May 1st, this is when this is going to start.
Oh,
So-
absolutely, absolutely. But Terry's not in today, otherwise she'd be at the meeting. She's driving her father to the cardiologist. So I will definitely, we'll put that, because it's almost April, so it's time to start putting the word out there so people can plan ahead.
Right. And then
And because it doesn't, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but if I get a notice, I think, oh God, yeah, I'll do it. But I don't sit down that minute and take care of it. So I think it's good to give people 2 or 3 weeks lead time.
well, that would be great if that could be done like at the beginning of April, and then people are actually, if they see it, and she generally sends that out, frequently, actually, the blasts. And I mean, most people look at those. I look at that. And if you're participating in any programs, you're looking at it to see what time they are and if there's any changes. So that would be great. So just, I just want to, follow the protocol that you set up. So, and just to reiterate that Terry, you will speak with Terry and get sent out by the beginning of April, a notice on the blast about changes in costs for programs. As I'm not,
I think we would start May 2nd, looking at my calendar, because that's a Monday.
okay, that's great. But
Right, and I think it needs to go out weekly for the month of April to remind people.
absolutely.
I think once, you can easily miss once, but if it goes out 4 times,
No,
much better odds of people
like-
noticing it.
I like that. So then May 2nd, then we'll start with our exercise classes. Did you say 8-week or 10-week blocks?
Last time we did this, which was 2.5 years ago, so I believe they're 10-week classes, so you get 10 classes for the price.
Okay.
10 weeks for the price, which if you do once a week, I think when you did 3 times a week, it came out to like $375 a class or something. It was really a bargain. So the more times you sign up for, the cheaper per class it is.
All right, that's great. So it'd be 10 weeks for a certain number of classes, 1 class a week. I'm just so
There's a mix and match menu. They can come to yoga one day, they can come to the full body another day, they can do Tai Chi a third day. So it's
Great.
mix and match. It's 3 of any exercise classes within a 1-week period, or 2 or 1, depending on what you want to do.
Okay, so
And
you
we're not really good at thinking, well, I think she only paid for 2 and this is her 3rd exercise class. We never worried about that.
okay, that would be
It's-
great. So
It's
there'd
just
be
like a little framework for us. Yeah.
a set price for the 10 weeks, and you can
Right,
come.
and and if you go away, we're not going to give you extra classes. I mean, it's like 10 week, it's like no refunds, because the bookkeeping on well, I missed this class, so you owe me one. I mean, that gets to be a little more than we can cope with effectively.
Absolutely, that makes perfect sense. I think that's the wise way to do it. So 10 weeks, you pay for a set price. You can come to as many classes per week during that 10-week block, mix and match.
Right, exactly.
All right, good. So then,
And what we'll do is just look at the oldest, most recent newsletter from before the pandemic and just probably reproduce those prices. And I can't tell you right now off the top of my head what they are, but I will find out.
great. Okay, so perfect. So we'll look for May in the email blocks, information to do that, to sign up for that.
In April.
Just that in April, I'm sorry. And May 2nd, that will start.
Yep.
Perfect. And then we have sandwich boards. When those come, we'll be able to put those out so that the visibility is there for the extra programs and whatever else is happening in that building. So we start.
Right. Sally found a sandwich board that has a waterproof cover so that you can handwrite it on like the flip chart paper and just change it. So that might end up being more flexible to do that. So we're still, I ordered the one where you put the insert in, but we can also get a second one if we need to.
Okay, that
So-
sounds great. So 2, that's super. I'm really happy to hear all those signs have been
I'm
ordered.
lucky to have 2 people who have excellent handwriting.
Yeah, is that
I'm
Sally?
not
that
one
does-
of them. I'm not one of them.
No. Whoever does the board going in, I think it is Sally.
It's, no, the board going in is Linda.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, but all 3 of them have, they're very distinctive one from the other, but they're all 3 really attractive and legible. Excuse me.
That's so great. That makes my heart sing to know that this will go forward. Terrific.
Yep.
Okay. I think those were my questions.
And that is the end of my report, unless anybody else has a question.
Thank you, Suzanne.
Okay, thank you.
Sarah, can you unmute yourself now? Because we have the friends, I have Evelyn down, but obviously that's a mess up on my part. Sarah, can you unmute yourself and let us know if you have anything to report about the activities of the friends?
No, not really. We are at this point doing a survey of the Wellfleet Dines Out restaurants. And that is, I think, our main goal at this point.
Okay.
Can I add something, Sarah? Would that be okay?
Pardon me?
Is it okay for me to add a couple things too?
Oh, please, Laura. Yeah.
Well, Lillian and Steve have done a tremendous amount of work getting a sign for us on the board, and that has been done, and obviously from what Suzanne said, it's been sent out. So the price for that turned out, we were thinking when we talked to the board that it'd be several $1,000s. It turned out to be $1,003.83. So there's been a lot of discussion.
What?
It was $1,003.83 for the big one, Sarah. The one that's outside the building, the sign that says the Adult Community Center.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So there has been just, we're not sure, there's been a lot of confusion and discussion about who would pay for that. So the friends did vote to pay for that, and Suzanne's going to pay for
Right.
all the other signs from
Right.
here on. The DPW will list all that for us when it comes. We are working, just as Sarah says, we're working on the Wellfleet Dines Out for the
Right.
fall. We met
Right.
with Diane Hall at VR's, the restaurant owner. She gave us a ton of really good suggestions and ideas. And one, just like Sarah said, was the survey. So we're going to compose the survey. The Chamber of Commerce is going to send that survey out. And we're going to get information back from restaurants to see how it would work best for them. So we can
Right.
tweak
Yeah.
Dines Out to meet their needs as well as being a good fundraiser for us. So we had a nice committee meeting with blueberry muffins, or it wasn't blueberry muffins, it was Irish soda bread the other morning, and have got that going. And then I guess Steve's going to report on the entertainment committee and the music. So I think that was probably all.
Yeah.
And Okay, I'll stop talking.
All right. All right, thank you to you both. Okay, the next item on the agenda is the signage, but I think we've dealt with that unless anyone else has anything else to report. I think we've covered that. So Steve, any further updates on the possible article in the Provincetown Independent?
Well, let me just say, I think based on what I read in the Independent, someone called Suzanne, because there was in that notes section after what's going on in the town, there was a little article in there about the game day. So Sarah, excuse me, Suzanne, you could elaborate on that.
I got a phone call from a young woman whose name I believe is Makila from the banner, and saying that she wanted to put the information on the notes section in that, I mean, on a game day in the notes section, because she had seen the press release that we sent out about game day. And I spoke to her briefly, and that's what it was based on.
Yeah, and I basically, at this point, I guess that's what they're willing to do, because I've bugged Ed Miller a bunch of times, and I saw that. I assume someone called Suzanne, so I guess that's about the best we're going to get out of that, unless you want me to try again and say, look,
No,
could you?
no.
Now,
I think it. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, Steve, but I think the fact that we're not doing anything that's interesting in terms of being controversial over here, that we're not going to get the print. If someone did something that ended up, scandalizing Wellfleet, we would definitely be in the paper. But aside from that, we're pretty much out of luck.
Yeah,
I mean,
I mean, they did reach out to Suzanne, so I mean, we
Yeah,
accomplished
I
something.
love Ed. Ed's a good guy, but he knows what sells. papers.
Denya?
Oh, you're
You're muted.
muted.
And
Yeah, it's not coming through.
Now her volume is down.
Denya, you need to turn up your volume. We don't hear you. Nope, still don't hear you.
No, no, turn up your volume. Come on.
Denya, we don't hear a word you're saying.
Me too.
There, there.
Can you hear me now or not?
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes.
I didn't do anything different. Okay. I have a couple of things to say. One of which is if they do a feature on the Wellfleet COA, then they have to do one on all the others. And maybe what, has to happen is at some point they do an article about what's going on at all 4 of the Outer Cape councils on aging. I think, if we ask for one and the answer is no, I would say it's because there are 4 councils on aging. I have 2 other things to say briefly. My internet is unstable in the house. I'm moving in 2 months. I hope it will be better there. So I am not hearing everything that is said. And the other thing is I only have until 10 past 10 today. So I will have to leave at, like 5 past 10. I'm sorry. I didn't realize we were going to be
44, so.
okay. So, but anyway, about the independent, that's what I think. You can't just pick out one, then you have to do everybody.
Well, let me just tell you, Denya, he never said no. And apparently someone did call, so I guess we got about as much as we're going to get from them. I'll just leave it at that.
At least he doesn't not like us. We're not getting negative. I
Yes,
will,
sure.
if I could just say one thing, Will.
No, go by all means.
Pre-pandemic, there on I think it was once a week or once a month, the independent allowed the COAs from Provincetown, Truro, and Wellfleet to give them 3 items that were happening during the month, and then they'd put a little blurb in the paper. But that stopped with the pandemic. I don't see any reason why we couldn't talk about resurrecting that. Because that does serve all 3 towns and covers the challenge of favoring one over the other. So I will talk to Chris Hoddle, who is the COA director in Provincetown, to see if she can talk to her contact to see if we can get that up and running.
Yeah, good,
Good.
Chris.
I mean, otherwise, Suzanne, you'll just have to encourage bad behavior on the part of your staff, you know?
I can do that without a problem, Will.
Okay.
I have a very
Okay.
cooperative staff.
Okay.
What bad behavior?
No,
Hey.
we keep it secret, Sarah.
I'm
She's teasing you, Sarah. She's pulling our chain. She's teasing.
Okay. All right. Judith, we've has a medical appointment, so she's left us, but we've dealt with that. Steve, how about a report on the entertainment committee?
Sure. First of all, let me just say, we have an excellent committee that's been functioning very well, and I'd like to thank Kenya and Laura for their participation. We've had 2 meetings, and I'm going to give a general overview, and then I'm going to turn it over to them, because especially Laura, who's got a little more exact information. All right, so we've decided a couple of things, which assuming if everyone's agreeable to it. First of all, we want to get out of the let's make a deal on the pricing. So we've established guidelines for pricing, and that is $200 per entertainer per concert with a cap of $600. And if we want to go beyond that, we would have to go to the Friends and get authorization. But generally, that would be the cap. And for the first concert, the Toast and Jam, Evelyn spoke to Jam, I guess his name is, and he agreed to that, although we agreed to a little addition, an extra $60 for gas for one of the musicians that's coming from Boston. So the Toast and Jam concert for May 21st is all set. The pricing is all set. I've spoken to him a couple of times, and he's very happy with everything. And I'll say that it's $200 per entertainer or per performer has gone over well. And I'll just add a little on that in a minute. Okay, the second thing we've decided is we've scheduled or at least penciled in 4 concerts for this year. Toast and Jam being the first, and then an idea that Denya came up with, Laura and I think is terrific, a sing-along type with 2 musicians and the lyrics put up on a big screen, and that would be the second concert in the summer. The third would be a concert of what I'll call the Great American Songbook, which would be in late September, October, and then a final concert in November with Denya's group. And I'll say at this point that the suggestion to bring in Denya's group was made by Laura and me, and Denya had nothing to do with it. So
the name of the group is Ruffled Hens.
Excuse me?
The group is not Denya's group, it's Ruffled Hens.
Ruffled Hens, yes.
Ruffled Hens,
Okay,
thank you.
I did see that. So those would be the 4 concerts, and we're very excited because we think that having a 4-series concert will make the Adult Community Center an actual location for music in the town, and I think it'll really help us get people interested. And the final thing I'll say before turning over to Laura and Denya is that I've spoken to John Berger, who is the guitarist of the group that we want to have for the Great American Songbook, which would consist of him and Carolyn, what's Carolyn's last name?
Rogers, Carolyn
Carolyn
Rogers.
Rogers. Sorry, I have a horrible memory for names. And the possibility, I'll say it almost probability of a pianist accompanist who I heard and is terrific musician. And I spoke to John and he was very pleased with $200 and he said they'd be delighted to have it. So that's our situation. I think we're basically pretty much there for the 4 concerts and who would perform. And at that, I'll turn it over, let's say first to Laura, who's got some more information on the exact date.
I'm going to let Daniel go first because she has some.
Oh, okay, that's a good idea. Daniel, why don't you go ahead first?
About the concert we're hoping to have in July, it isn't just a sing-along, it's 50s, 60s music, which is the music of our teens and 20s, for some of us anyway. And I had already spoken to David Wright, who plays piano and sings, has a huge repertoire. I'm going to, if it's okay, I'm going to ask Rick Arnoldi, who is a guitarist and singer and sang with such bands as the Drifters. And they both live in Wellfleet. They're both professional musicians who are very good. I also contacted James Paul Ludwig, who is now the media person for the town. I emailed with him, and he said that the Council on Aging is getting a new system, sound, I think it's sound and video, but he said he thinks that it won't be any problem to get the lyrics up on a big screen, which is really the only way you can do this, unless you only do songs with lots of choruses. You need to have the lyrics up there. And it isn't a sing-along like, excuse me, Daisy Daisy and Irving Berlin. It's a 50s, 60s popular music, rock music, folk music, Beatles, like that. And I think these guys, and I will accompany them, but I don't want to be paid for that. I just want to be like a consultant on that one. And I can do the interactions with James Paul Ludwig to figure out what we need for how we can get the lyrics up on a screen for singing.
Could you give me the name of the other musician that you said had worked with the Drifters? And
David Wright, and I haven't asked Rick Arnoldi because it's not definite that we're going to do this. And that's going to be, we were planning on a Thursday evening. Was it 7:00? Thursday at 7 to do this? Yeah, in July.
give me the name of Rick's last name.
ARN as in Nancy, OLDI.
Arnoldi, okay.
Suzanne,
Yes, this sounds really exciting, especially the 50s and 60s music, which is definitely my era. But I just want to make sure, I'm on the music subcommittee. Who has been, because I looked at May 23rd and there's nothing in the scheduler. Have you talked to anyone about dates? I know you've decided on dates, but have you talked about availability of the space?
No, we just had that first
The
meeting.
answer is no, because we just had this meeting. We're reporting it now. The only one that is set is the Toast and Jam concert, which I checked.
Yeah,
on
well, that's
that,
not in
and
the scheduler. That's why I was asking.
No, it is on the schedule.
We don't have any.
Not in
dates.
my scheduler, no.
Well,
Not in the
I was
building
told,
scheduler.
I spoke to Terry, and because we were talking about what the time would be, she says it's on the schedule for 2:00 on May 21st.
May
Well, she
23rd,
told
we
me.
have total body.
21st, not
said
23rd.
Oh,
Oh,
21st?
okay, I'm
sorry,
Okay,
May
hang on, let's
21st.
see.
Hello?
Oh, yeah, it's
kindly
there,
come
it's there.
through me. Do not speak out, please. Laura.
What?
Did you finish? No, you finished, and then
I'm sorry, but this is crazy.
Suzanne.
I would have to contact Tim Dippy. And, we had a concert on May 21st, so I'm sorry.
Sarah, I think we're all set. Suzanne.
I just want to confirm it is in for the 21st. I
Yes.
wasn't looking at the 21st, so I
Yes.
was looking at the 23rd. So that's why I was immediately on alert. But it's fine. It's all set. And as soon as you know the other ones, we'll put them in there sooner rather than later, because as in-person meetings come back into play, there may be more call for the space, and you should have first call on it.
Okay, Laura,
I just wanted to say the other meetings were still, we just talked about it and we haven't even contacted the people, nor have we gotten permission from the Friends to fund the other three. The one for May 21st funded and ready to go, and we'll go back and ask the Friends if they're willing to fund
Okay,
those.
that's
It
good.
seemed like a good way to get people into the building.
Just
as well.
Suzanne,
Sorry, Danielle was talking about putting the lyrics up. I know I talked to JP, and part of the plan for hybrid meetings is a giant screen that will be in the room so that people at home can see the people in the meeting and vice versa. So I'm pretty sure he can put lyrics up on it. I can't imagine that and also it'll be on wheels, so we can position it any way we want to in the room when it comes to the lyrics piece.
good. Laura,
I just wanted to add a couple things about the 21st, as well as the concert. We're also going to be honoring Sandy Wonders for her commitment and work for the community of Wellfleet. And we also were thinking that we might want to have like tea and coffee and cookies and individual serving, some sort of a light refreshment there too, which would be the responsibility of our committee to organize and do, and which is all of us, maybe some baking and some other things. But if that's Suzanne, I'm asking you if you feel like that's something you would be comfortable with. And in our we were thinking about like little
I think as long as there's not a communal platter of goodies, a health agent is fine with it. Like if you've got little decorative cupcake papers and put 2 or 3 cookies in each one, and people could take a paper, something like that would be fine.
Okay, that
So,
sounds
yes, and I'll bake. Just let me know.
good. That's great. Great. We'll take you up on it. Okay. I don't, did I need to interrupt what you were, did you have something?
Yes.
No, but as soon as I hear from the,
Fuck.
as,
I mean, come on. Let's honor Sandy. All right.
I didn't quite understand that.
Neither did I.
Sarah, could you mute your speaker again?
Why should I mute it?
Because you're interrupting the meeting.
All right, I'm interrupting the meeting and say, all right, we are going to honor Sandy Wonders
Yes.
on the May
Okay.
21st concert, okay? And that's all I have to say.
Okay, fine, thank you. Go
As
ahead,
soon as,
Denya.
sorry, as soon as we know that we are set for the other concerts, the 2 that I can coordinate people on, which would be Ruffled Hens on a night in, did we say, I forget what night of the week we said, for
Sunday afternoon.
a Sunday afternoon in November, and to get the 2 musicians set for the one in July. So, but I need to know for sure that it's okay to do that before I reach out to people.
Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I will call Evelyn, and I'll get her sense of whether, I really think that, we've already discussed this at Friends meetings, but I'm 99% sure she's going to say that it's fine. We'll have to formally approve it at the next board meeting, but I'll contact her, and then I'll get back to you, both you, Laura and Denya, on the on making sure that it's okay to move forward and that the money will be available, which it is, by the way. We've got plenty of cash to deal with this. Okay. So you can, you won't have to wait a month before trying to talk to them. Is that okay with you, Tanya?
Sure, that's great.
Okay.
Fine.
Okay, so does anyone have anything else to add in terms of the entertainment component of the meeting? Okay, The next item is I sent out with the agenda, the elder services of Cape Cod and the islands. And I'm not sure does anyone want to volunteer to do that? I mean, it does take a commitment. As I read it, there's a monthly meeting in Dennis.
University, I mean, well, I am so
Well,
overstretched between so many
Oh.
committees and boards. I
Oh.
can't take on one more thing.
I know I have 4 monthly meetings just for Outer Cape Health, so I'm
Okay,
I'm
I'm being
not- I'm
stupid
not-
again. I'll volunteer if no one else wants to do it. I'll once a month I could, make a trip to Dennis if you. I mean, I'm the last choice, but if nobody else wants to do it, I'll do it.
I mean, I don't think there's if you don't want to do it, we can just say just defer, Steve. So I mean,
Well, don't we want to have a voice in this? I mean, I think it's important that somebody.
Right.
Well, Suzanne wants to say something.
Suzanne,
I'm grateful that Steve volunteered, but I just want you to know that only about half of the towns on the Cape actually provide a representative. I think because in the past, it's been less than a satisfying experience. So you don't have to throw yourself on your sword, Steve, because
Well, I'll tell you what.
I can't guarantee a positive
I-
experience.
I'll go to a meeting, and if
I'm
it's completely worthless, I'll tell you, and we just won't.
Appreciate that. Perfect.
Look, I'm doing this to be a nice guy. If
We
you don't want me to
appreciate
do
that.
it,
We
fine. I
appreciate
won't
that.
push it.
Just wanted to give you due warning.
Okay. I've
That's
been in
right.
a lot of lousy meetings.
That's right. Okay. Now, Suzanne, Laura,
Well, it's not about this. I've changed subjects and I'll wait until it's appropriate to do that. So you go ahead, Will. I'll wait.
Well, let me ask you, is that okay if I just go to the first meeting as the
oh,
representative?
sure.
Okay.
Hey, I wouldn't go to any meeting, so I'm certainly not going to criticize you for going to the first one.
And where do you get the information, Suzanne, at the meetings? Where does that come from?
I see, if I were you, the contact information is right on the letter. So
Okay,
I
I will
just
do
give
that.
Mary Ann Ryan a call,
Okay, I'll call her.
I suspect you're not shy, so you probably won't have a problem giving her a buzz.
I won't. I'll call her.
Okay, all right. Laura, you had, because we're about to talk about the next meeting, hopefully in the flesh. But
Well,
Laura, so
is
the floor is yours.
there a possibility that we're going to be in person next time? Because my question was about Rebecca. If she starts the Zoom and then she walks away, she can't help us with muting or unmuting. But if she gives one of us, makes one of us the co-host, then we could help with that too on the other side. So this is more of a question for Suzanne or Will.
I can do that.
Well,
Oh,
go ahead. I mean, I'm hoping that this is our last Zoom meeting, but
Well-
Suzanne, what restrictions are we under? Do we have to do a hybrid?
I'm not sure. The select board has had it under discussion about how they're going to go forward. So I don't have a definitive answer to that. I would be happy to be shed of virtual meetings. I know the select board is going to do hybrid when they have the technical capability, because the attendance at their meetings and virtual land is so much higher than in-person meetings.
Right.
But I think a board like yours, which doesn't really attract that many people from the general public at the meeting, could probably easily be in person and when they're permitted without a problem. You don't have to do the hybrid piece.
I mean, are we prohibited from having an in the flesh meeting now?
I believe you are right now. Rebecca, is it accurate that I'm not allowed to do it right now?
Let me find out. I know that it was extended until July, but I know the select board is going to try and go back to in-person beginning April.
Right, that was my impression, but I didn't know if that included other boards and committees as well.
Yep, I know the Board of Health is meeting in person in April. So you could wait till your April meeting and then meet in person.
Okay,
Why don't we just plan on that, Will?
no, you don't have to say that twice.
And it's
Okay,
easier
then-
to ask forgiveness than permission anyway, so we'll
what I
just do it.
totally plan on doing. So we'll meet in the flesh in April.
Yeah.
Okay, great, okay. So I think that's it. The next meeting will be April, whatever it is, April 20th
Yep,
Yeah.
at the COA at 9 a.m.
we'll make sure to bake extra
I
scones.
mean, I would just like to know, in person or?
In person.
In person.
In person. Okay, that's fine.
Good. I agree.
And we
Yeah.
have a mask optional in this building, so anybody who is more comfortable wearing a mask,
Yeah,
it's all the time, so no
Yeah.
problem.
no problem on that. That I just want to know, are we gonna be in person or, you know?
And the weather will be nicer for it coming to the meeting too.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. All right. I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Bye, Ruth. Thank you. All in favor?
All right,
Aye. Okay, we'll
Aye.
see you all in April
in April.
at
in
the
person.
COA. And I do want to thank the Entertainment Committee for doing such a good job.
Yeah,
It's really top
welcome.
notch. Really top job.
No.
Thank you much for your efforts.
And
All right.
could you, next month, Will, one thing before we leave, could you put
Yeah.
the new website on the next agenda? Because they're working on it as we speak.
Yeah, Yeah,
So that should
I
have
can do
something, we
that.
should have something to show.
Right, very good.
sure.
All right,
Okay.
thank you. Yeah,
Thanks.
bye-bye, y'all.
Thank you, bye-bye.
Bye.
Yep.